PowerDirector peeps, how y'all doing out there? It's your boy Malik. Yes, I'm back on your screen, coming at you with a live stream. And today, I wanted to hit you all off with a story. I got a little story to tell about my YouTube journey. So I'm going to start off telling you guys a little bit about my journey, how I got to where I am today, and then take a look at where I'll be going in the future. After I do that, I want to go ahead and answer some of your questions that you guys might have, and then I will do a few channel shout outs of some of you guys, randomly picking and choosing. So we'll see how that goes down. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about my YouTube journey and give you guys a taste of what I went through. So started off with a channel called Video Editing Software Guide. Made videos on that channel for a while. Started off back in 2010, and then I made videos for all types of different programs when I had Video Editing Software Guide. That channel actually switched over to PowerDirector University. So when I went to start doing videos after that, I made another channel called Pinnacle Studio Pro. Started that channel back in 2012. Made very similar videos to PowerDirector University, just about a different program called Pinnacle Studio. So I made videos for that for a while. Then I started a channel called Tips for the Tube, where I did a lot of tutorials on YouTube stuff. I was teaching people how to make YouTube videos, how to use the tools on YouTube, how to get more views, how to get subscribers, all of that jazz. And then I started a channel called Smart Home Tech, and the Smart Home Tech channel was all about smart home technology, whether that be Alexa, Google Home, plugs, all that stuff. So I was pumping out videos like crazy. I had 4 channels at once, all the way up until 2018. Now, what I was doing was I was trying to kind of measure myself out. When I had those 4 channels, I would make 2 videos a week. One for the PowerDirector University channel, and then one for like Smart Home Tech. And then the other week I would make a video for Pinnacle Studio and a video for Tips for the Tube. So I was actually doing 2 videos a week, but really it was a video every other week based on what channel I was making the videos on. So I was really doing 2 videos a week, running 4 channels, and doing a whole lot, answering a lot of questions, doing a lot of tutorial requests. I was just doing things like crazy. So I felt like I was getting a lot of growth. If you saw any of the subscribers on some of the channels, like the Pinnacle Studio channel had like 40,000 subscribers. The PowerDirector University has over 60,000. The Tips for the Tube, I think, had about 4,000 or 5,000. So even though I stopped making videos for those channels back in 2018, I had a lot of momentum and a lot of growth that I was starting to see just by putting those videos out. But 2 things happened that kind of really got me. One of them was in I think it was March 2014. I actually had my channel PowerDirector University was terminated off of YouTube. And that was a devastating blow to me because that was my fastest growing channel. And I really didn't feel that I did anything wrong. As a matter of fact, I know I didn't do anything wrong. And that's why the channel's back today, because I actually was able to dispute it and get the channel back. But in 2014, when I went ahead and had my channel terminated, my subscribers and my views dropped dramatically. So I know you guys couldn't hear me at that point, but I wanted to show you, if you look at the middle of that chart, you see a spike and a dip in 2014. I'm going to pull it up again so you can see it, because I don't want to mess with the audio and mess something else up. But check this out. Look at the middle of those analytics and look at 2014 and look at that valley that occurs. So that was a 6-month gap in time where my subscribers and my views were really going up, and 6 months they just went to nothing. As a matter of fact, they had some times where they, like, I guess they kind of sweep channels to look for people who are like unsubscribed or non-activity. You see a really big dip in there, like that goes like negative 81 at some point. How do you be negative 81? I mean, I got people not even subscribing at that time, so it was crazy, and that was depressing to me. And the problem was I was trying to submit a dispute for my channel being terminated, but it was asking for my Gmail account, and when I would give it my Gmail account, it would say that the channel is fine. And I didn't know why it was doing that. I couldn't reach anybody at YouTube. Of course, y'all know how it is. I can get help from anybody at YouTube for nothing. You know how it goes. But anyway, reaching out to YouTube, trying to get help, got nowhere with that. At the end of the day, I ended up just going, and when they had the Google Plus, I noticed that the Google Plus account had some type of crazy Google email address, right? So I used that when I went ahead and submitted my request to dispute the termination, and it went through. And then they looked over the account, saw that there was no reason it should have been terminated, and they brought it back. And that's why PowerDirector University is still here today, because somebody, I don't know if it's somebody just trying to hate on a brother, throwing salt, on my game. I don't know what it was, but somebody reported me and had my channel terminated. But when YouTube did a manual review, they saw that there was no reason for it, so they brought it back. And as you can see, my subs and everything got back aligned after that. So when I talk about two things that happened to me, that was the first thing that happened to me that kind of brought me down on my YouTube journey. It made me think about really how I was going about diversifying, revenue, how I was going about, looking at different channels to place my content on, all of that stuff. It just made me rethink things a lot. And I'm glad at the end of the day that I went through that, because it made me think about how I do things. It made me a little bit better at how I deliver content as well. Now, the second thing that happened to me, I was pumping out these videos like crazy, like I told you guys. And it got to a point where I was like, man, this is just too much for me. I can't keep doing this. I still have a 9-to-5, a regular full-time job that I do, and it was just too much for me. So I ended up saying, okay, instead of making 4 channels and making 2 videos a week, I'm going to have 2 channels and still make 2 videos a week. So I started making 1 video a week for PowerDirector University and 1 video a week for Pinnacle Studio Pro, and I left Tips for the Tube and Smart Home Tech in the rearview mirror, and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done with that. I'm just going to do these 2 channels. So I was doing that for probably about a year. And then in March of last year, I ended up having a anxiety attack for whatever reason. And it was like the worst thing that I had ever felt in my life. Like, I felt like, I had no control over myself. Like, thoughts racing through my mind, body just shaking. I couldn't control my breathing. I had to slow down and breathe. And I was like, I don't know what the heck has happened to me. The first time it happened, I tried to go to sleep that night. I couldn't sleep for days. Like, I had to get up and go to work every day, like, with no sleep. Like, I'm talking about maybe 30 minutes, 0 sleep. I could not sleep for the life of me. Didn't know what the heck was going on. I'm telling you right now, I thought maybe cell phone signals was messing with my brain. Wi-Fi was inside of me. I don't know. I had no freaking idea what was going on, but I was a wreck, okay? I felt like I didn't want to get out of bed. I felt like, and I forced myself to get out of bed every day. Don't get me wrong. I was like, I'm getting up. I ain't staying in this bed. I know if some just told me, if you stay in this bed, it's going to be bad business for you. So I felt like, all types of things were going wrong, and I did not know why. So the first thing I said was, look, stress. There's got to be some type of stress involved with this that's putting me in this place in my life where I'm feeling this way. And I'm never stressed at work. I'm gonna tell you right now, For some reason, I've usually always been the type of person that I'm not stressed out about anything, and I can deliver under pressure, and I just don't let those things get to me. But at this point, I had to say there's something that's got to be stressing me, but I knew it wasn't work. And so I started to think maybe it's this YouTube thing. You know, maybe it's the stress of having to deliver content on a schedule, and people are always expecting to see it, right? And how does that going to make my subscribers feel if I let them down and I don't deliver content? So the pressure of having to do that every week could have been causing me stress. Coming up with ideas for videos. You guys give me a lot of tutorial requests, which are cool. So I definitely appreciate that. But most of those requests that you do, I have to do research. I have to determine, I have to try and fail. I have to try to do a lot of the things that you guys tell me, because some of the stuff ends up that it can't be done with PowerDirector, but some of it can, but it's through trial and error. I just can't get in there all the time and just show you how to do it. Sometimes I can, but a lot of the times I have to go through a process to see if the effect or if the request can even be done. And so that takes time. That causes stress. Coming up with ideas on my own. I have a whiteboard where I come out with ideas, and usually I have like a backlog of at least 5 to 10 videos that I can push out. So that's something I've learned over time. But I learned that since like I started doing the videos with PowerDirector and Pinnacle Studio. But there were times when sometimes I go through that backlog and I'm like, oh my God, I got a video got to come up with next week for 2 channels, and I got nothing right now. I got to think this through. Let me look through my tutorials. Well, if I look through those, can I find something that I can do? Is it something that I have to do some research and trial and error to figure out how to do it? It's a lot of things going on in your mind. Besides that, it's just the maintenance of having a channel. If you're doing a channel similar to mine, then you're answering questions all the time, right? You're not just on there pumping out videos and then saying hi guys, or answering a question every now and then. Part of the appeal of my channel is the fact that I help people. I help the community. I'm not just, dropping videos and not responding to any of them. I think that a lot of people appreciate that, so I want to continue to do that as long as I can. There will be a time when I won't be able to answer as many videos based on how many viewers I have and subscribers I have and things like that. But for now, I can still do it. So I want to do it. And that does cause some stress, trying to go in there every day, several times a day, to look for people's questions and respond to them. Not only do I have to respond to people's questions, sometimes I have to do research to figure out the answer. I don't know the answer of everything off the top of my head. Sometimes I gotta go to the forums. I have to go to my users group on Facebook. Sometimes I just have to look in a database for the PowerDirector. They have a support database that you can look through. Sometimes I have to do that. So there's work involved with all of this stuff. And so I think that was causing the stress. So I actually went to start seeing a therapist, and I talked through a lot of things with them, and end up finding out that, and talking to my mom and talking to the therapist, that, people in my family have had issues with anxiety, even though I've never had that issue in my life. And it was like just that incident in that space of time, because it didn't happen just once. I'm not just going to say that one time, because it happened once, and then 2 weeks went by. I thought I was doing better, and boom, it happened again. And then after that, I just felt like, I don't know what the heck is wrong with me or what's going on. So it ended up happening twice in a 2-week span. And after that, seeing the therapist, understanding more about what it was, talking to my mom and finding out about other people in the family who have had issues like that, it made me feel better about the fact that, okay, it's not just me, right? It's not something crazy going on in my head. I can get help if I need to, and I can learn how to manage and control it. And with the grace of God, knock on wood and all that good stuff, I have not had another incident since that second incident last year in March. But I did come to a conclusion at that point that one channel is enough for me. So I had to really do some analysis to determine out of those two channels, PowerDirector University and Pinnacle Studio Pro, which one of those two channels I really wanted to continue to create for. And there were pros and cons on both sides, whether it was the program itself, the community and the support the community gives, whether it was all of the functionality and the add-ons and plugins, or it's all type of different aspects of that I took into account. And even like the company and where the company was going and how the company's growth looked and things like that. I had to do a lot of research and analysis to determine which one of the channels I would continue doing. And as you guys know, I ended up selecting PowerDirector University. So I'm happy with my choice. You know, I think that my journey up to this point has been a huge learning opportunity for me, with all the different channels and all the different videos that I've made. I can see how I've grown, as far as how I've grown with the YouTube platform, I'd say, and how I've grown as a creative. I definitely am appreciative of all of the channels and all of the subscribers and all of the viewers and watchers and everybody who's communicated with me over the years is meant the world to me. Now, I mean, why am I telling you all this stuff? I mean, I got my little notes here. Let me make sure I'm caught up on my little notes, because I think I am. Yeah, basically. So why am I telling you all this stuff? Why does it matter? Well, I think it matters because YouTubers are people too, and I think that sometimes we tend to forget that YouTubers have lives outside of YouTube. YouTube's not the only thing that we do. YouTube ain't easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of analytics. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of networking. It takes a lot to do this YouTube thing. And when you're like me and YouTube isn't the only thing that you do, if you still have a 9-to-5 job, or not even 9 to 5, I work whatever hours. Like, I come home and I'm still working all day, and I still make sure that I have time to do this YouTube thing because I love doing it and I love helping people. But I just guess I wanted everybody to know that YouTube ain't easy. I mean, it's a journey. I get people telling me all the time that I deserve more subscribers, I deserve more views. I mean, that's for me to figure out how to get more of those things. It's not anybody else's responsibility but me. And at the end of the day, I'm happy with the content that I deliver. I'm happy with the community that I've built and the community that I've become a part of. So at the end of the day, the subscribers will come, the views will come. You know, if I really want to push for more of that stuff, I know what to do in order to do that. But right now, my health is the most important thing to me. And if I could just have the one channel and really deliver content that my people want to see and be able to be part of the community and help others out, then that's what I'm going to do. All right? That's what it's all about as far as I'm concerned. So that's my story, sticking to it. Now, there is something that I did want to tell you guys about the future of the channel. So one of the things that I get a lot of questions on, and that's whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group called PowerDirector Users. You guys should check it out if you're not a part of it. It's a great group of people who use PowerDirector, who answer questions and things like that and help each other out. I'm just the administrator of that account, but there's a lot of people who do a lot of work on that group. I get questions on a lot of different platforms about the PowerDirector video editing app, the mobile app that's available on Android devices. So I get questions about that all the time. And I never could really answer those questions because I wasn't really well versed at that app. So what I've done is I went out, got myself an Android device, and I got the app, and I started using it over the last, I think, probably month and a half, 2 months. And I feel comfortable enough to start delivering some content as far as tutorials for the PowerDirector video editing app. Now, what that means, though, is that I will have to start doing more research and analysis, start looking up more ideas, start making more content. So that's a little bit nerve-wracking for me. It's a little scary because I don't know if I will end up having another anxiety episode because I'm now delivering more content on a weekly basis, because my plan was to start doing the tablet or smartphone videos on Tuesday and call it Tablet Tuesday, and start doing PowerDirector video editor app tutorials on Tuesdays. So that would mean I'd be delivering content on Tuesday and Saturday. Kind of spread out, but at the same time, it's still more content, it's more work. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. I have a little bit of trepidation for my own health. But it's been over a year, and even though I know that anything could happen, I could have another anxiety episode, anything could happen to me. I like the app. It's a lot more powerful than I ever thought it would be. And I think that it's a tool that a lot of people who use PowerDirector are using today, because a lot of people are going to their smartphone and their tablet for editing. Don't ask me why. That's not my cup of tea. I'm all about the desktop, but I guess I'm going to start trying to get into that space for smartphone editing as well and see what all the appeal is, because I'm going to start dropping some of those tutorials on you guys on Tuesdays. So next Tuesday will be the first Tablet Tuesday that I will have. So be on the lookout for that. If you use the video editing app version, and please pray for me, wish me luck, and hopefully I will be able to navigate through the delivery of 2 videos a week without having any crazy anxiety issues. And who knows? I don't know if that's the thing that triggered it, right? But that was my guess. I stopped doing it, and I ain't had no more issues, so I'm wondering, I'm just saying. But anyway, that's that for my YouTube journey and where I'm going in the future. So now I'm going to take a look and see what type of questions I got on here. Let's see. So we got Celestial Film says, time versus money. How much money are you making for the time you put in? Good Lord. Celestial Films, I tell you what, man, I ain't making jack compared to the time that I put in. I have done some analysis on that in the past, and I don't even want to talk about it, man. It's a sad situation, bruh. It is a sad state of affairs. I don't even know anymore. This was a long time ago that I did that, and it wasn't good, man. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't good. I could be making a lot more money, and there are other things that I use. Like, I have some equipment, and I've gone out and I've done gigs where I've recorded like live events, done some commercials, music videos, stuff like that, and I've made some pretty good money from those things. But I don't do those things on a regular basis because I got a regular 9-to-5 job, like I said, and I'm doing this YouTube thing. But I like doing this. It's not all about the money. I like doing it. I mean, I will tell you what. The first thing that I did, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but when I had that anxiety attack, the first thing I did, I stopped making videos altogether. It wasn't but for like a week or two, though. Because I was like, whoa, what's going on? I think I may be stressed out. I'm going to stop. And I just stopped making videos altogether for like a week or two, but I missed it. I was like, man, I really miss making videos, but some ain't right. So I'm going to go back with just one channel instead of 2. And that's when I started doing my research and stuff to figure out which channel I was going to make videos for. But I miss it. I just love doing it. So yeah, I could be making more money probably, especially if I even put more time into it, which once again, it would go back to that question that you asked, time versus money, right? But I do it because of the love for the most part. The money is nice, but I ain't buying nobody no new house or nothing, or getting no new equipment with this money. It takes time. All right. All right, my boy NYC Fight TV. Really dig your channel, man. Focus on your work, but worry about your health first, brother. All day. All day. I appreciate that, man. So, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know if y'all noticed my old thumbnails versus my face now. I was a little bit more rounder in the face. I had some roundness up in here. And, like you said, NYC Fight TV is all about your health. I've been working out, every like 5 days a week, man. Ever since this happened, eating right, cutting down on carbs. I think that, like you said, health is a huge part of what you eat, and your exercise and all those things carries a lot of weight in your mental health as well, right? I think that could have been part of it. I could have not been happy with myself, right? And now I'm a lot more happier with the way I look. You heard me? All right. Let's see what else we got. Mixed Mommy 1980 says, we all know editing takes time. I don't know who she's talking to. Maybe she's talking to me. Maybe she's talking to Celestial Films. I don't know. But hey, yes, we all know that editing takes time. Editing takes a damn lot of time. And then when you're actually thinking and putting your shots into like perspective, and you're framing things, and you're doing like your script. Because I do scripts. Don't get me wrong. I just don't sit up here and say, well, let me just throw out whatever. I write scripts. I do, when I do effects and I do shots for those, I frame my shots. I do all of that stuff. It all takes time. It's not all about just post-production. There's things that take time when you're shooting as well. So keep that stuff in mind. Let's see what else I got. My boy Chris Lauterbach. What's up, Chris? This is one of my big time people on the PowerDirector users. I appreciate this dude so much. He said, can you add a PD 360? Let me bring that back up again for you because it wasn't fast enough. Can you add a PD 360 knowledgeable moderator to the forum? This is in light of Insta360 suddenly making 360 cameras a hot topic. Woo! Let's talk about this one. Chris Lauterbach. Yes, you know what? I am going to look in some other forums and some other spaces to see if I can find somebody who is like uber 360 content type dude. Now, the 360 space, man, I'm going to give you my perspective on it. I could be totally wrong. Now, I do have a Insta 360 1X camera, and that joker is bad. I love it. I love what it can do. You can edit the footage within its own app or within PowerDirector. It is a awesome piece of kit, right? Does a lot. The 360 VR type stuff, I am a little bit concerned about if that's really going to grow and blow up the spot. It might. I think that I think you're right about the Insta 360 1X. That's done a lot, and then they have a new one that just came out too, that does 3D and 360. It can like if you open it up, it's like 3D, and if you close it, it does 360. So they got that camera from Insta 360 as well. So a lot of great stuff coming out, but I don't know. I think it's like kind of going the way of 3D. I remember when 3D came out for video editing, and everybody was jumping on that. It was 3D TVs and all of this noise and glasses that you could buy, and that stuff just went away. And I'm wondering if 360 is gonna just kind of do the same thing. Like now, I mean, most programs don't even have 3D editing anymore. So I'm wondering if it's just a fad or if it's gonna stick around for a while. I hope it sticks around. I like it, and I try to use it whenever I have the opportunity to do so. So. All right. Michael Matthews says, I can see the passion of helping others. Maybe stopping is what's stressing you. Keep it simple and focus. Thank you for that information. I appreciate you so much. Maybe you're right. I mean, just keeping it simple, staying focused is what I need to do. Maybe not doing the editor app videos is what I need to do, but we'll see. I mean, what I would say like this: regardless of what happens, I'm gonna get through whatever it is. All right, that's just me. Even when this anxiety stuff kicked in and it hit me twice, I was like, I'm losing my mind, but I'm gonna get through this. This ain't gonna be the end of me. This ain't gonna stop me from doing what I want to do. I may need to change things, right? And I may need to keep things simple, right? Just like you said, Michael. But I'm gonna get through it regardless. So even if I'm gonna go into this with my mind open, right? I'm gonna go into this with the best intentions, and hopefully I kill it, right? If I don't, I gotta change and roll things back, I will, right? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna make it happen either way. So let's see what other comments we got on here. uh, DBZ Monkey wants to know if I can make a tutorial on how to make intros. So I can definitely do that, DBZ Monkey. Let me just go ahead and put a few things out there. So I can definitely make a video on how to make intros. Keep in mind that it's going to involve not just PowerDirector, because PowerDirector is a editor. It is not a compositor. So what I mean by that is it can't create things. Like you can't create like a blank slate and change it into a, I don't know, a diagonal line or a different shape like a circle or whatever. I mean, you can mask things and stuff like that, but you can't create things from the blue with it like you can with a compositor. A compositor is something like HitFilm has a compositor built into it. Adobe After Effects is a compositor. So I can make a video on how to do an intro, but it will probably involve the use of other elements or other tools like Photo Director in order to create different shapes or different layers that I want to bring in. And then we can layer those different things on a timeline using keyframes to make those things come onto the screen and animate them and use some effects to come in. So I can definitely do one on how to make an intro. So just keep in mind, if I do that, it's not just going to be like, hey, well, this is just using PowerDirector only. It's probably going to use some other tools to it. And as a matter of fact, I just put a poll on YouTube recently on what type of tutorial people want to see next. And the last time I checked on it, the clone tutorial was first and the intro was second. So I will definitely be doing a clone tutorial in the coming future and an intro tutorial in the coming future as well. Let's see, who else we got here? So Rob's Bushcraft and Adventure says, you're my go-to for easily learning everything with PowerDirector. Thank you so much, Rob. I appreciate you, man. I mean, I love seeing like my subscribers come to my live stream. Like some of you guys' names on here, like, you know, I've noticed you from before, like Rob. I've seen you on some of the comments on some of the videos, and I've answered some of your questions. Michael Matthews, DBC Monkey, Chris Lauterbach, geocaching with Moto Joe. I didn't even know he was on it. Moto Joe, what's going on, man? This week's video, oh man, what is this week's video about? I think it's just gonna be this one. I think this week, after we're done with the live stream, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it up on YouTube, and that will be this week's video. But next week, let me look at my, like I said, I got my handy dandy list of videos that I'll be making. Yeah, you just don't know. Let's see, I think it is audio. So there's a new audio mixing room in PowerDirector. I don't know if you guys, in PowerDirector 17. So I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but it takes a lot of the audio tools that were in Audio Director and brings those right into PowerDirector. So if you have PowerDirector, you don't need to go to Audio Director to do certain things anymore, like noise reduction and I can't even think right now. I can't think. Well, there's a lot of tools in there. You don't have to go to Audio Director for anymore. So it's really cool. So I think that's what's going to be coming up. Not this week, but next week. This week's video is going to be this live stream. So unfortunately, like y'all saw, I messed up the audio at the beginning. So sad state of affairs, but I guess people are going to have to deal with it. Let's see. What else we got? So Jeremy Don says, I need to give a big shout out to Tony. Shout out, Tony. I don't know who you are, but shout out. Tony, what's up? All right. Superman G, or Superman G, because he's got a Supra. Says, Malik, I joined your channel about a month ago, and I really shown me how to use PowerDirector 17, which I recently purchased. Let me get the rest of that up there. You know your stuff. Keep up the good work, Chief. I'm going to do that for you. Appreciate you, man. Superman G. All right. Celestial Film says, I'm interested in 5.1 surround mixing in Audio Director. It's a good idea for a tutorial. So if you could do me a favor, if you haven't already done so, my friend, if you go to any of my videos, there's a link for the tutorial request form. Put that in there, and it will be automatically added to my list, and I'll be sure to take a look at it. All right. We got Kid Blood 1. Hey now, long time subscriber. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of my subs, all you guys, man. Just means so much. And like, people can subscribe to you, stick in there, watch your content, and leave whenever they want to. So the fact that I have people who subscribe and just, whether they just like to just see me act a fool, or they like the information that I'm sharing, or whatever the case may be, I just appreciate the fact that people appreciate my content and the things that I decide to talk about, because like I said before, I really have to do a lot of work to figure out what's the right thing to talk about during a specific video or what have you. So it's all good. All right, Michael Matthews says he's got to run. He enjoyed the live stream. Heavily subscribe and watch it. Watch all my new stuff. I appreciate you, Michael Matthews. You have a good one, man. GHLS Video says, your tutorials are great. I do look forward to them, but don't sweat it if you have to miss a week. We'll also be here. Mike. Appreciate that, Mike. That means a lot to me, man. I mean, that's part of the whole thing, right? Is like, and I feel you on that, but I'm gonna tell you, I have had people, and I haven't missed a week. I don't think I've ever missed a week, but I've had people like, everybody on YouTube is not nice. Let's just put it that way. Y'all know that. Y'all have seen comments. I have dealt with people who are, you know, I want you to do this video on this and you don't do it, I'm gonna leave your channel and I'm gonna unsubscribe, and your video on Saturday didn't come out and I needed this video. And I've had everything. I've had people call me racial slurs. I've had people just call me names for no reason. I mean, so I definitely don't let that stuff get to me. That stuff just go like, it's like water on a duck's back, man. You can't, if you're gonna do this YouTube thing, you can't let that stuff bother you. I had a buddy of mine who, he was like, yeah, I want to start a channel. I'm gonna do this YouTube thing, and he started doing it, and he was doing videos every now and then, and then he got one comment from somebody, and they said they called him a werewolf. Okay, the guy has a big beard or whatever. They called dude a werewolf, and he stopped making videos after that. Just stop. Just for one comment. And at that point, I was like, well, you know, it's not for him then. Because if you can't work through people being upset with you, YouTube ain't for you. Because you can never please all of the people all of the time. That will never happen. But I do appreciate the fact that people like you, Mike, let me know that it's okay to miss a video every now and then. Right? You're still going to be there. So I appreciate you, man. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually not sweating. I guess I'm just a greasy mofo, because there's no sweat on me at all. I can go like this and you're like, you know, you still real shiny. You is shiny? Shiny. I'm real shiny, but I ain't sweating. But I probably look like it though. You know, these lights. Bam. Lights just hit you. Bam. Bam. But I ain't sweaty though. I'm good. The AC's on. It's kicked in. AC is kicked in, baby. Let's see. All right. So I got Luciano Alten. He says, "Hey Malik, what time is it right now in California? I'm Italian. I guess California is 2 hours ahead of me, so it's got to be like 5:47 in California. There's your update for the day. Have a good one, Luciano. All right." All right, NYC Fight Night says, "Bro, your channel is dope. You come off as authentic and genuine. Forget the haters." You know I will. I always forget about the haters. There's too many of them out there for me, you know? Can't do nothing about it no way, so why worry about them? Celestial Films. This is what I love about you, Malik. You so funny. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. You know, if you can't have fun, dude, I mean, why are we here? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think I'm just a silly dude anyway, man. I'm just going to tell you like it is. I'm silly as hell. And my wife thinks I'm the weirdest fool out there. But at the end of the day, I want to have fun if I can, right? There's so many opportunities in life where we have to be straight-laced. We have to be business-like, right? We got to be that way at work. And I'm at work, like I said, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And I try to inject fun at work too, but there's just times where you just have to be business-like. You have to be serious. So the opportunities to have fun, I want to take advantage of those as much as I can. And if that means I'm acting silly, then I might act silly once in a while. It's all good. All right. All right, so I got Jeff, I think it's Spikers. If I said that wrong, I apologize. As a longtime content creator promoting the PD software, does Cyberlink offer you the opportunity or for input or suggestions for future versions? So, Jeff, I would say that I have probably a bit more opportunities to provide feedback on features for future versions. But with that being said, anyone can provide input or suggestions for future versions, because if you go to the PowerDirector forum, there is usually a thread in that forum for future version suggestions. So anyone can go there and make suggestions. I've gone there and made suggestions based off what people in videos have told me. So I've done that. Now, do I have a relationship with some people at Cyberlink? Yes, but they're not the people who, like, I guess, do anything more than like marketing for the most part. So I can tell them what I think, and then they would have to relay that information to the individuals who do the programming, and then they would have to make a decision on whether or not to put that into the program. So that's another avenue that I have to be able to provide feedback. And then I am also a beta tester. So when they come out with the beta version, of course I get to test that, and I get to see what kind of bugs and glitches and things like that are in the program, from the ideation through the execution and implementation of the program. But at the end of the day, that's pretty much near the end of the life cycle, right? Where it's about to be born and put out into the community to be used. So I can give input on the current state, and I do give input on, hey, y'all should do this and move this here, move that there. And I haven't seen any of that implemented into the, or integrated into the implementation of the software. But I do make those suggestions on the beta versions as well. But I think it's so close to the end of the life cycle that they kind of like, we can put that into the future version. We want to get this out and try to make money off of what we got. So there you go. So yes, I do have some avenues where I can provide feedback, but you can too. Go to the PowerDirector forum and get on a thread, make your opinions known. All right, so Kid Blood 101, Kid Blood 1 says, "What is your work? Is it editing?" He also said that. He wants to know if my work is editing. No. So my full-time job, I am a process engineer and a program and project manager. So that involves doing process improvements, managing matrix teams, and running across projects in a business setting. It's all this mumbo jumbo that y'all don't need to know nothing about, okay? Don't worry about it. Don't even worry. It ain't nothing. You don't want to be it when you grow up, okay? Be something else important. This ain't nothing but a whole bunch of thinking and analytical stuff, and making people run around in circles. That's what I do, okay? And some people say I take people's jobs away, because a lot of people hear the word process engineer and they're like, oh, you trying to automate everything and you trying to get people out. Sometimes that's the right answer, sometimes it's not. But yes, that is my job, but I ain't trying to get people out of days. Okay? Photo Director versus Lightroom. Come on, man. Come on, NYC Fight TV. You're talking two different languages right now. You're talking Mac versus PC. You're talking professional versus consumer. I mean, there are some features in PhotoDirector that you can do in Lightroom, but there's some things in Lightroom that you can't do in PhotoDirector. So, I mean, it really depends on what your needs are. If you're a professional, and you are trying to get the most bang for your buck out of your program, you could probably do some things with PhotoDirector and get away with it. I'm just gonna say it like that. That's what I think. I think you could, but most people just want to have that. It's like when you go into somewhere and you tell somebody, "Oh, I'm driving I don't know. I don't want to say anything bad about anybody's car, so I'm gonna say a car that don't exist no more. Like, I'm driving a Yugo, or you driving a Mercedes." The people say, "Hey, they want to hear the word I'm driving a Mercedes." So when they hear Lightroom versus PhotoDirector, they think Lightroom is the Mercedes, when it ain't really the Mercedes or nothing. It's just a program that is tied to Mac and Apple, which gives it some type of street cred, I guess, in a photo editor world. So it really depends on the person. It's not about the program. It's about what you want to do, what you need to do, and what the program does for you. So if the program suits all of your needs, it don't matter which one it is. It's really up to those things. So that's where I always go with it. The age-old question. What audio editor do you prefer? Audio director or wave editor? And I wish I could read your name, but I think that's, I don't know if that's Arabic or Farsi, but I don't speak that, so I can't read your name. Sorry. So, what audio editor do I prefer? Wow. Depends on what I'm doing. Like I said, I mean, if it's something quick and easy and dirty, I can just jump in the wave editor and do it, then I'm going to do it in the wave editor because it's just simpler. That's Hebrew? See? Come on, man. Really? Man, I'm probably just making people mad all over the world right now. Talking about Farsi and Arabic when it's Hebrew. I don't know nothing about nothing. Okay, anyway, that was Hebrew, so I apologize for that, man. But anyway, if I can get it quick and dirty in Wave Editor, I'm going to do it in Wave Editor. I like Audio Editor simply because it has more functionality. I can do regional versus global type of edits. It's just easier for me to use. So, mixing, I can do mixing. I'm all about Audio Editor when it comes to those two. So that's just me. See, at least I pronounced somebody's name right. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, sir. That means the world to me. Because I sure enough can't speak Hebrew. And I can't read it neither. I think Hebrew is Arabic and Farsi. I'm way off. Let's see. Good question. Celestial Films wants to know if I have ever submitted stock video to agencies like Shutterstock and Adobe Stock. I've thought about it, but I've never done it. I think that I shoot enough video and I do enough shots of, I do enough B-roll, like outside of different locations and of landscapes, things like that, that I probably should start doing that. I just never really took the time to figure out what the process was to sell my videos to those companies. And then also, I wonder myself about the copyright issue that I might run into based on what's in frame at the time that I do the shot, right? So you have to be really careful about what's in frame if you're doing like in a, I don't know, a city setting. It might be something that you don't want to have in the frame that could cause a copyright issue or just the issue of privacy. Some people don't want their face on certain things, and if their face is on something, then and they can prove it's them, then there might be a privacy issue. So I haven't really gone down that path because I have some concerns on those things. And, you know, I think that it's something that I should look into in the future to see if it's a way for me to have an additional revenue stream. So thanks for that. So Sam's Academy wants to know, is there a Mac equivalent for PowerDirector? Man, that's a hard question. Now, the first answer is that there is no PowerDirector version for Mac. Now, if you're asking if there's a PowerDirector equivalent, I think that the thing that's probably closest is the Adobe Rush. So Adobe Rush just came out, and right now I think that it is just PC, but they are going to be having a Mac version of that. So Adobe Rush is like a scaled down version of Adobe Premiere Pro. So a lot of people have been praising this software as like the next great thing out there because it's Adobe, I guess. Like I said before about a Mercedes versus a Yugo or something. It's Adobe, so people want to see what it's all about. But I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. I haven't had the chance to play with it myself. But I would say that once it comes out, that would probably be the PowerDirector equivalent for Mac. iMovie is way too basic. And Final Cut is, I would say, a step above PowerDirector. PowerDirector is trying to catch up, but I would still say that Final Cut's a step above it. So once Adobe Rush comes out, I think that's the PowerDirector equivalent for Mac. All right. All right, so I was going to answer your question, Shorty Dog Productions, but it looks like DBZ Monkey got the answer. But just in case, let's just go ahead and knock it out. It says here, so let's say you record a video that has two audios, but one of the audios is a voice track. Is there a way to separate the voice track from the video? Yes, there is. As DBZ Monkey said, right click on the clip and do unlink audio and video. And then you can move the video or the audio wherever you want to on the timeline. It's good to go. Jeff Spikers wants to know, do you have any past videos on camera techniques? I couldn't find any. Any suggestions? So I don't have any past videos on camera techniques. I will tell you that I thought about doing things like that, but I think that it is outside of my niche. So I've been doing a test of doing product reviews for a long period of time. So looking at those videos and the amount of views that I get and the comments that I get, I can tell that it's not really in my niche. My niche is tutorials, right? So I have a concern that if I go outside of that tutorial niche and start doing things like framing my shots, camera techniques, transitions by, whip and pan, all that stuff. If I start doing videos like that, then they will confuse my audience, and I probably won't see the return on the investment. And I'm not talking about monetarily. I'm talking about just, views, right? If I spend a certain amount of time creating a video, I expect to get a certain amount of views from it, or, comments or whatever. And from what I've seen, if I do videos outside of the tutorials, then I start to see less interaction, less views, and things like that. So I've thought about it, but right now I don't think that it's a test that I want to try. I've tried the product review test, and I cut those off. I'm not doing any more product reviews. They're just not giving me the bang for my buck. And plus, when you do product reviews, you're making a commitment to someone else to do something, and I don't really like that feeling. Like I told these people I would make this video on this product, even though I love the product. Don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like making a video on that right now. And then I have to, I got to get it done. I got to get it put out because I made a commitment, and I always follow through on my commitments. So, we'll see. I don't think that would be something that I will be doing anytime soon, but it's a good idea. Yep, good idea. Thank you, Rick Henry. That is a great idea, because FilmRiot does all kinds of great tutorials on that type of stuff. So since we're making channel recommendations, I might as well throw a few more out there. Let's see, YC Imaging, Caleb Pike. What are the channels that I can think of right now at the top of my head? Can't remember dude's name for the life of me now. When I remember it, I'll tell you guys. So, Frugal Filmmaker, that's a good one, Rick. Let's see. All right. So I made a commitment to someone that I would try to end this around an hour. So I've been online for a little bit over an hour now. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for watching the live stream. My apologies for the beginning of the live stream where there was no audio when I switched over to the other, I guess, screens that I was showing. I will make sure that I correct that and fix that for the next live stream that I do. I do truly appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you for all of your comments, and I will see you all again soon. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.